We're going to teach our guys how to create their own apps. So in DepEd, we have several strands. Strand for human relations, organizational development, HROD. We have a strand for curriculum development, CT. We have strands for technology, a newly created strand under ASEC Mars. So we want all these strands to be talking together to produce the best for our students. So this is where we're at. There are cost constraints, obviously. So, but so far, everything we've done with Google has been fantastic value, and we have to thank you for that. And we hope that's still the way to go forward, because it's really difficult to scale things up. How do you go from maybe doing it with 1 million people to doing it with 28 million students, 24 million students in the public system, and another 3.5 million the private schools also need our help. That's the challenge. So we're looking forward to all our collaborations here. Of course, we also need a lot of education for our training for our teachers. We get hacked a lot. Apparently, a lot of teachers don't sign out of their accounts, and other people use their accounts. So very basic stuff. But lately we have about 1,300 schools which are powered by Canmi Group AI. So we've seen the potential of technology to help our teachers. In Benguet, Samar, these are very remote provinces. You're up in the mountains or you're in some island, and teachers still have to encode the grades. They spend late nights encoding grades manually when technology developed that many years ago. They're also spending days doing lesson plans. Again, technology took care of that a long time ago. So how do we spread it out and roll it out at the quickest possibility? 60% of our schools have internet access. What that means is there's a principal with access to the internet somewhere in that school. That's all it means. We have to work on that. There's about 1,300 to 1,500 schools that have no electricity. How do we get them to use all of these wonderful tools to provide? But these are the challenges that confront us today. And I was chatting with Scott earlier, and he said, well, if you like to face a lot of problems, I think this is the place at DepEd. You have problems of all shapes and all sizes. But I think that's the wonderful thing about technology, and the promise of artificial intelligence is personalized education. So there we go. I think we have some sort of a match there. How soon we can get to it, that depends on how smart we are in the choices we make. So again, the President has told us to make it happen for our teachers, make it happen for our students by any means possible. And who better to partner with than Google, who is a game-changing, modernizing company, changing the face of our life, changing the face of technology. So we're really looking forward to this partnership. Thank you.
When I went to school, none of my classrooms were air conditioned. I went to my elementary school, my college, my law school. None of them were air conditioned. But now I think because of climate change, we're in a period of transition. And I think part of the transition is using renewable energy. I've seen that schools with solar energy, using solar energy, are able to have air conditioning, which really helps, especially in the computer rooms, and they have to cancel less than those. So I think that's a technology change, adoption of the new technology that we need to push forward.
Will students be seeing more of hybrid learning, especially now that the index is going
We'd like
up?
to see that actually, especially in the higher years, senior high school, because it's proven to work in certain countries. I think as long as it's done right, and the value of the teacher-student interaction is not lost somehow. I think in the past, in the pandemic, it's been very one-way. So I think the checking mechanisms weren't quite there. So we have to improve upon that. And of course, the quality of the connections also matters a lot to maintain engagement.
And for us, it's critical. I mean, I think there's a huge amount of potential for digital transformation that we can do collaboratively, right? It's not one partner, one person or the other. It's together what we can do, and what we can do to really, as the Secretary mentioned, support the teachers. It's a very difficult, challenging job that they do. They work very hard, and so what we can do to really support the teachers, and then also support the students with personalized learning. So I think there's a huge amount of potential, and I think we have a strong relationship, and we're going to work through that together, and we're going to test, and we're going to learn, and we're going to scale some of these things. Yeah, I think that we've got definitely experience here in the Philippines, but also experience elsewhere in the region and also experienced globally. And internet connectivity is a big challenge. And as the Secretary mentioned, there's alternatives like Starlink and things like that, where we've done collaboration elsewhere to bring connectivity and bring the tools to these schools. And from a personal level, when I go to these schools and you see these schools that maybe you have to drive and maybe sometimes hike to these schools, and you see what happens when you bring connectivity and you bring device, you bring Chromebooks, and you equip the teachers and equip the students with access to the world. It's incredibly powerful. So is it hard? Yes. Is it worth it? Definitely. And so I think that's part of the goal of our collaboration. Are we going to solve everything? No. Are we going to solve a lot of things? Hopefully. Will it happen overnight? No. But it's a long-term collaboration, and it's a goal that we have to achieve.